What's up, guys? I hope you're all having a fantastic week so far. A lot has been happening throughout the week, and it was all being reflected in the price of XRP. But it seems like the market is trying to recover again. As we can see on CoinMarketCap.com, we are currently at $1.26, and the price has been up by 5.06% over the last 24 hours. We will get into all the nitty-gritty of today's video shortly, but before that, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome back to MoneySide, your favorite crypto news channel. If you're new here, welcome to the XRP family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our daily crypto news updates. Now back to today's video. We'll rev those engines with this tweet from Finland Law that says, defendants Ripple and Larson file motion to compel the SEC to answer interrogatories identifying the SEC's theory of how the Howey test applies to virtually all of the defendants' transactions in XRP over the last 8 years. Guys, you must watch the entire video because we're in some exciting times. We are closer to something significant that is bound to happen in the coming months. As we can all see by now, the SEC is really hanging by a thread. So these are the times where we tell you to hold on to your XRPs and put them safely in a cold wallet because we're almost there. Now, further in that tweet, Finland Law shares a link to a Dropbox file that we will dig in a few. Looking at that document, we can see that on December 22nd, 2020, the Securities and Exchange Commission commenced this unprecedented enforcement action alleging that virtually all of defendants' transactions in XRP over an 8-year period were investment contracts under the SEC Howey 1946. The SEC further alleged that defendants' multifarious transactions during this period were part of a single integrated distribution of securities subject to registration under Section 5 of the Securities Act of 1933. So basically, the SEC is saying that all these transactions for the past 8 years have been going against the Howey test. So they are essentially securities. Further into that document, we can see that the SEC, however, has resisted any attempt to pin down its theory of the case. Defendants served interrogatories pursuant to local rule, seeking to identify the ways in which the SEC contends Howey applies to all these transactions. So basically what's happening here is that Ripple was seeking guidance on what to do and how not to be a security. The SEC, however, refused to provide this information, contending the defendants are seeking irrelevant information. When as set forth below, each of the defendants' interrogatories is properly designed to elicit binding statements from the SEC necessary to narrow the scope of litigation, reduce the element of surprise, and serve as admissions for trial. This document is bringing to light that Ripple reached out to deal with this problem, but the SEC didn't provide them enough guidance or a theory why these transactions are securities. Under Howey, an investment contract exists where a person invests his money in a common enterprise and is led to expect profits solely from the efforts of the promoter or a third party. Defendants' interrogatories seek, as Rule 33 permits, binding representations from the SEC as to how it contends Howey applies to this case, as well as identification of the factual support, if any, for those contentions. Right now, all Ripple wants is a response from the SEC. They just want a theory explaining why all these transactions from 8 years are being deemed securities now, because at no point did they get any guidance. Moving forward, we have this other tweet from D1 Dr. Pablo that says, and so it begins. Further on in that tweet, he shares a link to an article posted on CoinGeek.com with the headline, Tether banned on Canada's first 2 licensed digital currency exchanges. This is something that we have mentioned time and time again on this channel. If you guys have your money on Tether, it's time you take it out. Put it either in an asset or even USDC, something that's just safe. I know you'll figure it out. Tether is really risky at the moment. If we look at that article there, we can see that a Canadian securities regulator has barred the country's first 2 registered digital currency exchanges from trading Tether, USDT. The stablecoin, which is seemingly printed at will and has been deeply linked to the alleged market manipulation, is the only prohibited digital asset in the country to date. This is just the beginning. They have banned Tether, and soon this will happen for all other exchanges and places as well. It was a ticking time bomb, and thus right here, guys, are just the beginning of the end. Moving forward, we have another tweet from @CryptoWhale that says, just in, SEC has officially charged global lending platform BitConnect and top executives in $2 billion fraud case. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering what's important about this case. Well, the SEC on September 1st filed a lawsuit against BitConnect. Immediately after the month of September started, the SEC has started regulating things. This is what's going to happen now. They are going to go after everything. The Securities and Exchange Commission announced today that it had filed an action against BitConnect, an online crypto lending platform, its founder Satish Kumbhani, and its top U.S. promoter and his affiliated company, alleging that they defrauded retail investors out of $2 billion through a global fraudulent and unregistered offering of investments into a program involving digital assets. As we mentioned in the previous tweet, Tether got banned. Right now, most of these cryptocurrencies are not in the right state, as anything could just happen anytime now. I know you've heard this so many times already, but 99.9% of cryptocurrencies will be banned. Leo Hachilozuzu says the Ripple wallet that funds Taco Stand is now officially empty. A year ago, this wallet held more than 4 billion XRP. Taco Stand balance, 709,911 million XRP. I don't know how many other signs you want to see to believe what's coming. It's time to move, guys. This is precisely the time. Further, we have another tweet from @BBC News. Thursday, FT. The UK draws up plan to shift Trident subs abroad if Scotland secedes. If we look at that paper, we can see a story there that says SEC chief says crypto platforms must accept scrutiny if they want to survive. This is something Gary Gensler said. Look, only these things come in the media if they want to make you afraid and sell your cryptocurrency. At this point, you have to make a tough decision as to whether the fear will get you or you will stay strong through it all. On top of that, we have this tweet from @Ripple that says, want to learn why the XRP ledger is perfectly suited to power NFTs? Tune in to hear CTO Joel Katz share exclusive insight on our recent Ripple Drop episode. If we look at this article that Ripple shared on their website, we have the headline, XRP Ledger Unleashes the Full Potential of NFTs. David Schwartz, Ripple's CTO, shares the latest on the white-hot NFT trend and why the XRP Ledger is ideally suited to help grow NFTs even further. Though collectibles are the biggest NFT use case today, David suggests we're just scratching the surface. He envisions a future where NFTs are the foundation of all digital rights management, even one where consumers could move away from services like Kindle or Apple to directly own the rights to purchased books and movies. David believes the XRP Ledger delivers a unique combination of the low-cost, high-speed, and good payments features needed to streamline NFT creation at scale. In particular, he points to the ledger's ability to maintain consistent transaction fees, something which is impossible on most other platforms today, as a key benefit for both buyers and sellers. David also reveals that federated sidechains, blockchains that operate alongside other blockchains, could be available for the XRP Ledger in the coming months, opening up a host of exciting possibilities, including limitless transaction scalability and expanded DeFi capabilities. As we can all see here, banks can very soon start using their own blockchain channels, which is something huge, guys, and the NFTs that have been using Solana because of the high gas fees from the Ethereum blockchain. I feel XRP can do a way better job with this. XRP can generally do better than Solana with the NFTs, and when that time finally comes, it will be crazy because, as you know, all NFTs are really hot right now. This is something that we should all be looking forward to. With that in mind, time to take a look at the charts. XRP has cleared the 0.702 retracement in the short term and looks good for a retracement to 0.702, i.e. $1.54 US. After this run to the $1.50 US region, XRP may consolidate for a while, as seen in 2013 and 2017 cycles, where XRP waited for Bitcoin's peak and only started its explosive rally near the peak of Bitcoin in the previous market cycles, assuming that 65,000 in Bitcoin is not the peak of this market cycle. Using the rally prior to Bitcoin's capitulation, placing the 0.236 extension on it, XRP reached out to its full $4.23 extension in 2017's May rally. In both cases, XRP's price tumbled heavily after reaching the 0.702 retracement. Currently, 4.236 extension lies on 11 USD. Structures are matching up at this point. As always, do your research and trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Tell us what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. Thanks as always for watching. I appreciate that. Don't forget to like this video and to click on the subscribe button below. And turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.